Okay, good morning. I've got 9 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order for the Wright County Supervisors. I'm looking for approval of the tentative agenda.
I'll approve the tentative agenda.
Second
I
that.
have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor can signify by saying aye.
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 None opposed, carried. If you would read the minutes of the September 8th meeting, please.
September 8th, 2025, Chairman Rasmussen called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Clues, Bosch, Rasmussen, Lukes, and Ellis. Motion by Ellis, second by Lukes to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. The minutes of the previous regular meeting of September 2nd, 2025 were read and approved. Approved claims for payment. Motion by Clues and second by Bosch to approve the promotions and salary adjustments for Sheila Cordero. Is that how you say it?
Cordero.
Cordero to jail administrator with salary increase of $2,000, and Kristen Henniger to assistant jail administrator with a salary increase of $2,000. Motion carries. Motion by Clues and second by Bosch to receive the monthly revenue report from the Wright County Sheriff. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Ellis to appoint Tony Pietschko to lieutenant and Adam Nerlin to deputy in the Wright County Sheriff's Office. Motion carries. Jerica Beecher, Wright County Emergency Management Director, discussed the need to build a shed to store equipment. Supervisor Ellis questioned if she has the funds in her budget to accommodate the shed. She indicated that she did and explained that her commission will approve or deny the building of the shed, but the county needs to agree for the shed to be on the county-owned property. Motion by Clues, second by Bosch to approve the emergency management to put up a 30-foot by 50-foot building on a county-owned property located south of the clearing tower. Motion carries with Ellis voting nay. Motion by Clues, second by Ellis to table item 10 to receive and approve the filing of the annual urban renewal report until Monday, September 15, 2025, to give the board time to be briefed by the auditor. Motion carries. Motion by Bosch and second by Clues to appoint Nara Poundstein
Yeah.
as a medical examiner investigator per John Anderson. Motion carries. Adam Clevens, Wright County Engineer, gave an update on the secondary roads department. Motion by Clues and second by Ellis to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as read. Claims have been around and signed. Open forum for public input. Robert, did you have anything for us? No? Anyone on Zoom would like to address the board? Okay, hearing none. Item number 5, review and act on appointments of Sheila Cordero as jail administrator and Kristen Henniger as assistant jail administrator. As you heard from the minutes of the previous meeting, we approved the promotions and salary increases last week. And this week is the actual appointment as jail administrator and assistant jail administrator.
I'll make a motion to appoint Sheila Cordero as the jail administrator and Kristen Henniger as the assistant jail administrator.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the appointments signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Item number 6, receive and approve the filing for the annual urban renewal report.
So this is just stating all of your urban renewals. It's showing your debt, your tips, monies that you've received, and how much is left over on your debt that you have to pay. What we use the tips for to pay down your debt.
So our total TIF debt, current outstanding debt is 11,040,927. Am I reading that correctly?
Then at the end of that was at the beginning of the fiscal year, and then you had the end of the fiscal year at June 30, 2025 was 7,504,625.
Where do I see that? Oh, okay, right here, I got it. $7,504,625.
Yeah.
That is our outstanding debt as of June 30th, 2025.
2025, sorry.
2025,
Yes.
okay,
For fiscal year 20.
all right.
Yep.
Is there any other questions concerning that?
You guys did pay off, 2 out of the agribusiness park this last year, so.
2 million?
No, 2 debt, so you had 1, 2, 3,
And that
4 different loans.
the agribusiness park is the one with the red, thing across the top.
So you got the Rise Road that was, paid off in June, and, the infrastructure got paid off in June, so you still have the Eagle Grove sewer loan and the Eagle Grove school revenue bond left to pay.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions concerning the filing of the annual urban renewal report? Again, we have 3 urban renewal areas in Wright County, or that the county is using for TIF. We have more than that
Yes,
that the cities are using for TIF, but the county has 3. And those 3 are the wind turbine area down in the southeastern part of the county, the agribusiness park, and then Renutrients, which was essentially the road leading
Out
to
to there.
Renutrients. Any other questions concerning that? Hearing none, I'd receive a motion to approve the filing of the annual urban renewal report.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the filing for the annual urban renewal report. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item number 7.
I don't know if
Go.
Rick-
Tony Reed, is that you on the cell number ending in 1867? I have to unmute.
Can you hear me now? This is Tony.
Yes, Tony, I can hear you now. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining us. We are just getting to item number 7 on our agenda. Review and act on resolution 2025-30, approval of compromise settlement agreement with Central Iowa Juvenile Detention Center. I had a phone call with Rick this morning. It was noted in the resolution that there was a vote of approval 22-5 in favor of those entities. And Rick said that we were one of the approving counties. We were not one of the disapproving in that vote. But we did not receive a copy of the, help me out, Betty,
Compromise agreement,
the compromise agreement.
only the
Can
resolution.
you, we just got the resolution. Can you give us some background on this?
Yeah, there was a summary of the compromise settlement in that email, but I can kind of run through the basic steps. So basically, Hardin County sued Central Iowa Detention, challenging certain counties whether or not they should have been approved. With that, this was drug on since December of last year. I think most people in our group just want it to be gone. We're spending a lot of attorney money on this, and really we're not gaining anything. Neither party's gaining anything.
Okay.
So the Central Iowa Commission voted 22-5 to approve this settlement offer. So basically Hardin County is saying they'll settle this lawsuit if we basically roll the clock back to a former 28E agreement, which basically makes some members no longer members, but they're still going to let them have member privileges until they reapply for membership. To be honest with you, I don't know what we're gaining by doing this. But if they'll agree to this, it'll settle the lawsuit. So that's basically what would happen. Each county then, you know, Wright County and the other 29 counties would pass a resolution to basically approve this. Right now, a majority of the counties have already passed this resolution. So 16 of the 30 have already passed it. So it basically passes regardless of what the rest of the counties do. But But that's the resolution in front of you today, is to basically approve this settlement offer with Hardin County to just make this lawsuit go away. There's no money payment to Hardin County. There's no admission of any guilt or damages of any sort.
Good. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, I would accept the motion, to approve resolution 2025-30.
I so moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Rick seconds. Resolution 2025-30, by roll call vote. Betty, how do you vote?
Aye.
Lynn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Rick, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ashley, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dean votes aye. Unanimous on resolution 2025-30. Thank you, Tony, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Rick. Bye.
Okay. All right, we will jump down to item number 9, Sue Martin to discuss concerns regarding Twin River exploration seismic testing.
First, I want to say thank you for letting me present. I've talked to Betty and I've talked to you,
Yes, ma'am.
and I had concerns. I went and did way more research than I really ever wanted to know about hydrogen. But anyway, my goal today is just to bring you the research. You guys can look at it. I printed it off. You don't even have to go on the website. There's more to be had.
Okay,
But the first one, which,
is it okay if I pass those out to the?
yes, this will be the first one.
Okay.
And there's one for, the county engineer. I have a copy for him of everything. And then also Rick. So
Okay,
do I leave that here?
you bet.
Okay.
Yep.
Engineer's right here. That's
Oh,
Adam
very good.
Clements. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, as you had mentioned, Betty, that, hydrogen is very explosive. It is, basically there's risks with it. And so the first one, goes into that and talks about what those risks are.
Okay.
And, the protocol for handling those risks down the road. The second one, which is, I talk about, I was concerned because through this, I came across some talk and information about how the state of Oklahoma with oil drilling had occurred earthquakes. And it was, my first perception was that it was horizontal drilling that did it when they went and started doing that. But it wasn't. And it was kind of nice to come across some information that basically showed it was what they were backfilling the wells with. So,
Better known as fracking.
yes. And, so anyway, long story short, and this was, it was nice to know, and that one discusses that. Then the, second one, or the third one, I should say, basically, there's other stuff on this about seismic testing, breaking field tile and what have you, and it talks about 25 feet from field tile and whatever. So I understand that. But this one talks more about, how far you should do D2 seismic testing. And basically, it generally talks about 50 meters, which is 164 point fractional 29 feet.
Okay.
And so the third one, is to deal with that mostly about seismic testing. One thing was interesting was as, I got to looking about it, aquifers came up. And our aquifer, I don't know how the level is right now, but, it had gotten quite low, as you all probably know, through the drought that we had. And then the polling with Gold, Eagle.
Cornell P,
Yes,
that's right.
and, so my concern was the aquifer. But, another thing that was interesting, last Thursday, I was talking with a client from Indiana. And just through conversation, he owns a fair amount of ground in Indiana, and, we were talking, and he, brought up, Sue, we're hearing lots of talk about sinkholes. And my ears perked up. Then I said, sinkholes? And he goes, yes. He said, and we're not sure why this is happening, and I asked him, I said, are you aware of that Indiana did hydrogen testing? No, he was not aware of it all. So obviously his ground wasn't tested. But I thought it was an interesting thing. And then this article also talks about the quality of soil. Now, I think we have such good black dirt here, but the quality of soil, how it can change the formation, or however you want to say it, to where, and it talks about sinkholes as a possibility. So I just brought that.
Okay.
Okay. And then, let's see. So, let's see here. And then the next one is about how far seismic testing should be done. And this discusses the 50 meters.
Okay.
You're probably getting way more than you wanted.
Or take well to read it all.
Bedtime stories, right?
Yeah.
And. Okay. Then. The, question I have also about, the testing. How does dredge ditches come into play on this? Is there a certain distance, for the testing, since they're testing every 30 feet? That they have to
Like
say
on the open ditch? Or
Yeah. on dredge ditches that are, granted, there's a bridge that goes over.
Right.
But, because it can change the composition with sinkholes, I just wondered if there was something.
Only 250 feet from the
Two hundred and
bridge.
50 feet from a bridge. If it doesn't have a bridge and it has a culvert, which many of our open ditches do have, then it would be down to the 25 feet or 0.5 peak particle velocities.
Then, let's see. The next thing was the ability to, just a second here, I think I've gotten ahead of myself. Okay, the next one was, the horizontal drilling, which my understanding is 4,000 to 10,000 feet. And then the vertical drilling, maybe up to 15,000 feet for wells. Then that I wanted to, address. I asked them, and that was a possibility. I also asked, the gentleman I talked with at Coloma, who's the head of all of this, what distance, because I had heard up to 1,000 acres they could pull from. And he said 640. Well, this article here discusses that, but also, and some of it even talks up to 1,280 acres. But what it indicated was they're pulling from this well, they're gonna pull out from others. And in farm ground or whatever. So this one goes into detail. Let's see, shoulders. And this part, I think is a really good article. It goes into detail. It takes different states into being. This was from 2015. Minnesota, Michigan, and Iowa is not included in this. And I think it's because it's just so new that they aren't in this, but it talks about all the other states like Indiana, Illinois, and what have you. So,
And this is concerning what aspect of, on how that you would,
no, it goes through a lot. It goes through, that's probably one of the better articles. It goes through, talking about distance. When there's multiple, entities, farm ground around a well, how they're treated. It goes into, different things that different states have done. One thing I thought was really interesting. Here you go. One thing that I thought was very interesting was last Friday, I went to, for the first time, to a landowners meeting in Des Moines that was sponsored by Iowa State. And my son had been to several of them, over the last 2 years. So I went, and of course, the first is talking about estate planning. Then Chad Hart, the Iowa State economist, talked about the markets and the outlook for farmers and what have you.
Dr. Do.
Yes, Dr. Doom, you're right. And he got teased about that. And then the next thing was the afternoon from about 1 o'clock to 3 was legal and taxation and all the changes in the one big beautiful bill and all of that and how it affects farmland and landowners, farmers, and what have you. They brought up Summit Carbon Solutions and talked about that and showed maps of where all the pipelines would be and went on to talk about maybe they'd have to revert and go back into through Minnesota to get to North Dakota, because North Dakota wasn't on board at first. But what was interesting was after this was all done, I was talking with the lawyer that was putting all of this out. They were totally unaware of hydrogen. They had no clue this was happening in Iowa, which has me questioning how many laws we have, which I should be asking Mark Thompson about that. But the changes that need to maybe come through, I have no clue. But I thought it was just interesting that Iowa State lawyer did not have a clue on this, and yet they were aware of carbon solutions and everything else. So I just think that might be also why Iowa's not in that and Minnesota, because it is that new. So, in fact, I didn't know anything about hydrogen until about a month ago after your August 11th meeting. And then my nephew from Telluride, Colorado called, and he was like excited, like the Clampers, drilling for oil or something, I don't know. So anyway, I guess I'm the family spokesman here. Lastly, they talk about seismic testing and compare it to a piece of equipment that is vibrated on a roller on like blacktop when you're packing it.
Right.
And they said that's 30,000 pounds of pressure. And I thought that was interesting because they said this seismic testing is 18,000 pounds of pressure. And of course, sometimes I tend to analyze a little too much, but I thought that's kind of interesting that wouldn't be as aggressive, that on the top it's 18,000 pounds of pressure, but as you go down, it wouldn't have to be more aggressive because it's going through all these layers of stone and other entity, minerals, whatever. And so I checked on that and this is just a comparison, but I thought it was interesting because yes, it does increase as the further down they go. And so, the concern would be that I think the concern would be that, if they're doing testing in front of someone's home. Now, out in, we think of farmers We don't stop and think about the homesteads.
Mhm.
And so as we go through, they do their testing every 30 feet on a road. The concern is that, okay, this goes down and, but it arcs out. And of course, they have to be getting a feel, or they wouldn't be doing this testing on the roads. They're testing these fields that, and trying to get a layout of the rock formations and how, they explained to me that a rock formation that they're looking for basically comes like this and then peaks and comes down, and that's where they think the hydrogen is. Well, first off, I'm wondering if it's feasible, like for example, our home out on 210th Street is 400 feet from one edge of the acreage to the other edge. And we have, I did a rangefinder from the road to the house, and I took the garage because it sticks out the farthest. And it was 177 feet when I put it into from yards. Then the driveway was 100, the edge of the cement driveway pad was 105 feet to the edge. Then the septic tank, approximately, it would be around 105 to maybe 125 feet from the road edge. And then the last but not least, we have lamp posts at the end of the driveway where you come in and gravel, go on back to a machine shed, or you can turn into our acreage house. And those sit just, well, they're less than 25 feet, I know that. And so when the gentleman called me from Tri-Gen about this, he brought that up and he said, well, we have insurance, we can document it. In my perfect world, I don't even want to deal with insurance companies, you know? I mean, we all know how they
Join the
are.
club.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if it's workable that they could, when they come to an acreage, unless it sits way back, that would be different, and some do.
Mhm.
But I'm wondering if it's workable that they could stop right at the beginning of whatever direction they're heading and not test until, like in my case, it would be they'd stop before the 400 feet and then they could start after the 400 feet, although I do have a neighbor. But if they're on board,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a feasibility. But anyway, that is something I'm just laying out there and projecting. So otherwise, they're not gonna cross into our ground on 210th Street because I just don't wanna take this chance. And a septic tank, we have a lot of landscaping. Anybody that's driven by can see behind the house, we have waterfalls and a pond, and I call it a water feature. But you know, I just don't want to deal with the yard being disrupted if that septic tank cracks. Because in some of this data that I've given you, it talks about that, because these foundations of homes and what have, we never thought about
Mhm.
hydrogen and seismic testing years ago. So when they were built, so they aren't able to stand, they can get fractures or hairline cracks that work worse over time. And you get an insurance company to say, oh yeah, we did that. No, they aren't going to. So I just wonder if this is another way to take care of it and yet still appease that they're able to do the mapping of the, you know, the fields and achieve what they're wanting to do. So anyway, that ends my spiel. So,
A lot of information, I will read it, believe it or not.
I sent you some stuff a couple months ago on hydrogen, an email.
Mhm.
well, it's kind of exciting and I can see the potential that if it's workable and we can get it through and it's safe, it's, yeah, there's a lot of potential here for advancement plus clean energy.
That's what they say about Summit Carbon too.
Yes, yeah. And the other thing, that I wonder about is the backfill. Now, Van East had a well drilled on some property of his over by Benson. And my understanding is they offered to take me out there and look at it, but I really didn't want to ride over there with that guy. And so I just said no, but Mark Thompson did go.
Good.
And, my understanding is that they capped the well or are capping it because they didn't find the hydrogen that they thought they'd find. So then my next question, and Mark said, well, they're capping it at the ground level. And I said, okay, so they're capping it there, but what about how are they putting a fence around it? Are they covering it? Because I'm thinking of farm equipment. And he said, no, they're going to go down 6 to 8 feet and cap it under the ground there too, and then bring all the dirt and everything back over, which is good. However, then my next question is, what about the packing of rock and what have you that got them there, the equipment to that well? What do they do that? Because if you put dirt back over that, your yield is going to drop in that area. The other thing that I questioned, and it was that one that I handed you about the fracking and what have you, made me question, what are they backfilling that well with? You know, as to the safety of that. So I just, just questions, I guess, so anyway, that's all I've got.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Appreciate your research on this.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
No, thank you.
Did you see the? Yeah.
Item number,
It talked about the laws.
let me see, going back to item number 8, Adam, you are up.
First item on the agenda is, we have a vacancy announcement that we'd like to post. Asking for permission. We had a gentleman, come to us last week and, say that he doesn't want to be a motor grader operator anymore. And we had a kind of an exit interview with him, and said, what's going on? What were you thinking that you wanted to do? He said, well, I want more variety. So, and then I said, well, we've had other positions open like the bridge shed, which gets a lot of variety. He stated that he didn't want to leave the Eagle Grove shed, so. He decided that he's gonna put in his 2 weeks, and so now we'll be looking for a motor grader operator, hopefully, out of the Eagle Grove shed, with your permission, so.
And has that actually happened? Has he put in his?
Yes, he did
Okay.
sign his resignation.
Yeah. Very good.
Any discussion?
I see that, it would be a patrol operator working out of the Eagle Grove shed. Or to work where assigned.
Mhm.
Base pay will be $28.80.
Excuse me, the base pay is, but then they start the 50 cents less, so.
So they start.
They'll
what?
start 50 cents less, but their base pay is 28.80.
Okay.
So they'll start at 28.30 for 6 months. And then second 6 months, they'll be at 28.50 or whatever that is, the 25 cents plus that 28.55 and then 28.80. So
And this would be available for somebody internal in the county would also be able to.
Yep.
If they were at the Belmont shed, they could move to the.
this follows the handbook
Okay, very good.
and it's posted for a minimum of 10 days. I've got it actually posting until October 9th at 3:30 is when we'll close it up.
Motion for the approval of the, posting for the patrol operator out of the Eagle Grove Maintenance Facility. With the, starting pay at $28.30 after 6 months and a positive review. $28.55 for 6 months. And then be at full base pay at 1 year.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the posting of a job vacancy for a full-time patrol operator based out of the Eagle Grove shed. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Okay, secondary roads update.
Blades are out, level 2 blading, trucks were hauling year 1 gravel. You can see that they're about 73% done, on the tonnage, about 75% done on the segments. 27 work orders were completed, majority of signs, got replaced. Update on construction, Voss Quarry Bridge, I do have an update for the guardrail. Bridge pouring, I said last week that it would probably try to get it done in 1 day. They've reviewed that, they're gonna get it done in 2 days. So tomorrow and Wednesday is when they'll be pouring. Marcus just confirmed with me that the contractor should be able to get their backfill done and ready for guardrails at the end of this week.
And so the 16th and 17th, that would be the approaches on both ends. Excellent. Okay,
And then guardrail Thursday, Friday, this week.
this week,
That,
that's outstanding.
They'll do the backfill in between.
That is better than outstanding. That is.
Now, subject
To
to
whether,
change.
yeah.
Yes, this is what I have been told this morning, that it should have guardrail by the end of this week. And if it does, and if it is, I will review it on Friday and we will try to get it opened up.
My rainbow and unicorns just went away. Thanks for spoiling that.
Sorry, I do what I can.
This is like subject to weather.
Subject to weather, subject to, I mean,
Yeah.
if something doesn't, I mean, we have to, we'll have to break a couple beams, probably Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, to see if we can open that for the approaches. If not, we would maybe extend it to Monday next week to open.
Okay,
So if the
That's-
guardrail gets in,
that is excellent news.
so,
Somebody asked me, I said, hopefully 2 weeks.
yeah, well,
I hope. So that's perfect. Sooner than that.
yeah. Update on the Hancock, paving, or the paving project we have going on. from
Did you
Hancock.
cover the Tanner Avenue? Bridge?
That, there's no update on. it.
Okay,
So,
alright.
I didn't put any items
Okay.
underneath it. The Hancock paving, we have both, intermediate lifts on Hancock from Highway 3 down to around the curve, onto CP4. They put one surface lift coming south from Highway 3 on, Hancock Avenue. We have made a decision to put a strength and leveling course on the rest of the project, because those routes were getting, beat up pretty well. So we're out there probably putting about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch strength and leveling to fill in any of those low spots, to hopefully make for a better ride.
Okay.
It was a decision that, we made not lightly last week. There was a lot of, talk back and forth between I and the contractor about what this would do for us. I knew that maybe from County K to 69 would probably need it. But then going back and driving it, we decided to go ahead and do it from where they're at now. So they're currently doing that. When I was talking to Marcus about an hour ago, they had a mile done already. So it should go quick because it's only 1/2 inch to a 3/4 of an inch.
And then
And then-
from Highway 3 to what I would call the Eagle Grove Blacktop or Hamer's Corner, that would be open then for traffic?
Currently, it is open. It's open after every day.
Okay,
So, they just have one surface lift on. So what they're gonna do is get this intermediate or this strength and leveling done on both lanes, come back, do the intermediate, which this should help with any overrun that we were seeing on the intermediate. We did have 114% overrun on Hancock Avenue in the intermediate lift. This is going to flatten that up
Okay.
so that we can stay at that 1.5 inch, on the intermediate lift and then go to the surface. So
Okay.
once they get both intermediate lifts done, they'll go back to Highway 3, pull that all the way through, then they'll have to come back and probably do the railroad approach sections.
and that's all done by you guys, the railroad's not involved in any of that?
Railroad is very heavily involved
Okay.
in that.
Well, I know on flagging and stuff, but
Yes.
also on how it meets their
That,
rail.
so that rail, we actually put it in the contract, it's called it's a standard road plan for the railroad approach section. So
Okay.
they have to do certain things, they have to put, install, I don't know if they're installing a tile on this one, but they've gotta meet certain requirements that are
Okay.
inside that standard.
Alright.
So,
Good, that's great news, I think, especially the Voss Quarry Bridge,
Yeah.
that's
You
great.
didn't hear anything else you said.
yeah, no, you didn't hear anything else about the Boss Quarry Bridge, which is fine,
I
that's
don't
good.
farm on that side, but I know a lot of
There's-
people
Yes,
bring grain
that from that way, yes.
both ways, actually.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
Ashley and I were at the Woolstock City Council meeting,
Mhm.
and that was brought up, and we're like,
Yeah. I think that's where it was there. I said, I think we're hoping 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but I said it could be longer.
Well, if everything goes as planned, it should be latest Monday, most likely. So,
Sweet.
okay,
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
You guys have a 9:30.
Conference call for drainage.
Oh, so we wanna finish this one up and adjourn this.
Yeah, was there any, under old business, the only thing update that I had that I failed to mention, I mentioned it at the end of our drainage meeting, but not at the end of the supervisors meeting, was, taking the, ruling on the Eighth Circuit Court to the United States Supreme Court. ISAC is taking the lead on that for the counties, which is, good news. Counties will have an opportunity then to participate through ISAC in paying for that. Again, that brief, amicus brief would be, $25,000 is the cost for that. We currently had, 13 counties that wanted to participate, definitely. But again, ISAC will cover the cost, and then they will send information out to the counties on how they could, participate in that also, in sharing in that cost. And then let me see, what else? I think that was it.
motion adjourn the meeting. Well, I guess there was an economic development meeting. that-
Yes, yep.
Should we just
and
recess?
We'll just recess.
Okay, we'll recess and we will go to our
Drainage.
drainage. I assume that that's this number right here. Okay,
yeah, have a good week.
thanks. Thanks, Leroy.
Good work.
Okay,
There we go.
okay,
Oh, there, Humboldt County.
hello there.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. This conference call is with Humboldt County regarding, an improvement petition that, they received. I assume that you guys are we are the controlling county. Courtney.
Yeah, I do believe so by the,
Address both boards.
First off, can you tell me who's in attendance in Humboldt?
we have our full board, our drainage court, Tracy. Excuse me.
Terry.
Terry.
Poor Rick.
He's had a rough day. And, just one gentleman from the wind industry sitting in the wings.
And then
So-
everybody on Zoom, we've got several on Zoom.
So, yeah, we're in drainage already, so we're ready to rock and roll when you are.
Okay, we will, convene as drainage trustee. We are recessed as, board of supervisors. Do I have approval of the tentative agenda for drainage trustees?
Minus number 8.
Yeah, removal of number 8.
Okay, removing number 8.
So,
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second to approve the agenda, removing item number 8 as trustee?
Humboldt second, Reimers.
Okay, motion carried. On to the conference call. We'll do the
Yes.
minutes later.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, Wright County received a improvement petition from Harold Trask for Joint Drainage District 162-7. He has received and obtained 3 signatures on this petition. He would like to have the trustees review and take a look at putting in a new main from the outlet, to at least 130th Street or the full length of the existing main. I did talk to him about, replacing the current main that is there with a larger tile, if that was what his interest was, and he does not feel that that is what his interest is. He feels more of like a relief tile parallel to the current main tile that is there. That he does not feel that it is draining as much water as it should due to the size. It is on the larger end on some chunks of it. up to about 22-inch tile is the largest, I believe.
And distance that we're talking,
I do not have the entire distance on here just because he's got at least 130th. He's gonna leave it up to the engineer
Hmm.
to see what their suggestion is.
okay,
He did go back and forth on a part of it, the whole thing to 130th. So
Rick Peterson, Humboldt County, how old is the existing main?
as this is the original main, I believe there hasn't been any work done on it. To replace any good substantial chunk of it since it was put in. And I do not have that date of that.
do you have an approximate idea from your research?
I don't have any
No,
right now. This
okay.
is just bringing in, receiving the petition.
Okay,
So we don't know if it's 100 years old, 50 years old, 10 years old.
Is DD 162 our number, Wright
Yes.
County number?
Yes.
So usually the higher the number is not as old as
Right.
the, if it's a DD 7, then it'd been like one of the original districts. So,
Right. DD 162 would be on the newer end.
yeah. So it's still 100 years old, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
okay, and so our next steps,
Is just to receive the petition.
okay,
And then if you'd like to have an engineer appointed to look into this, then that would be our next step, would be appointing an engineer.
and in order to do that, were they required to submit any money for that petition or no?
No.
Okay. All right. Humboldt County, any discussion on this?
No, I
I
don't,
mean,
I don't believe so.
obviously, if
Go to
we're
the next step.
considering, a parallel tile or replacing existing with a larger, it would require an engineer. Just asking your thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are if that, put in just a relief tile probably wouldn't be adequate because in 25 years, that old main's gonna give way and then you're gonna be putting in another relief line. So my thoughts were, scrap the old one and put one in that's large enough to handle it.
Okay. Maybe
See what
ask
the
the
engineer's
engineer to
thoughts
look
are.
into
See
that,
what the
the
engineer's
feasibility
thoughts
of, I mean, obviously, they would do research into the record and look at our maintenance records on repairs that have been done to the existing tile to see possibly what condition it is in, and give us a cost estimate on either upsizing the existing tile or running a parallel tile. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, what company do you guys use over that direction?
We have a few that we can
For
choose
engineering.
from, Agravia, CGA, or McClure are the typical ones that we've used.
Whatever you use is fine with us. You're the lead.
Yeah, you're the lead.
Who do
You
you
guys
guys
wanna
use?
pick one or?
Who does Humboldt County use?
No, we use,
Jacobson Westergaard.
And they're based out of where?
Spencer. Or Emmitsburg,
Emmitsburg,
sorry,
that's right.
Emmitsburg.
Spencer too.
I missed that. Say it again.
When I went and looked at it, the landowner wanted to put on a dredge that creek out. River.
Rick, we missed that. What, say again where Jacobson Westergaard is out of?
This one goes to all existing. We're still gonna have
I
some
can't hear you.
problem.
I didn't hear you, Dean.
Can you tell us, the location that Jacobson Westergaard is, where they're located out of?
Emmitsburg.
Lewisburg, okay, thank you.
We would probably go with
We can forward that, if you're interested, I don't know what their workload is.
We just had a bid letting a week ago, and it come in about, 30% less than our estimates. So
We're hungry.
contractors are hungry.
Okay,
We can forward you the information if you want to reach out to them
that'd be great, we can do that.
and let them know that it's a joint district with us.
Okay,
I'm not a fan of doing a relief tile beside the main. In the experience that we've had on the ones that are there, you have, you're trying to figure out where the blowout, is it on the relief tile or on the main?
or new,
Or is the old one been abandoned and left in place and they put the new one there? So my suggestion would be is to just put
a larger
a
tile.
larger tile and remove the other one and put the new one in.
Okay.
So, but I don't know, did he complain about blowouts and a problem with the existing tile?
Too wet, not draining well. Undersized is what he believes.
Inadequate, yeah, probably a small drainage coefficient compared to what he's looking for.
Gotcha.
Okay, if you guys will, I guess first thing that we need to do is, I would accept a motion to receive the petition for repair.
Improvement.
Dean, I will accept the proposal from Trask Farms and that's Reimers for Humboldt.
Okay. Okay,
I'll second that.
and Ellis from Wright County will second that. All those in favor
Okay.
signify by saying aye.
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 All ayes on Wright County,
All eyes on Humboldt.
okay? And if you guys will forward that information for, Jacobson Westgard, engineering firm to us, please.
I will get that done.
I believe that concludes the joint, requirements here.
All right,
All right, thank you much, appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks, Dean.
You bet, bye.
Bye.
Okay, okay, let's go back and, do you wanna go back and finish our supervisors meeting, or do you wanna continue with this? The only thing that we had left in our supervisors was old business and new business and updates.
To you, bud.
Let's go back and
With
finish.
that?
Let's go back and finish that. We will recess as drainage trustees. We will reconvene as, or come out of recess as, Wright County supervisors. And we are at, old business, new business, and update on meetings.
Adam would like us to go back to, the secondary roads update.
Okay, something got missed in translation with Marcus and I. The guardrail contractor will not be in until next Thursday or Friday. So that puts it off by 1 week. Okay. So, Amanda, that was specifically updated for you.
Amanda Reek.
Yeah, for the newspaper. The bridge, the guardrail people will not be in till next
Thursday.
Thursday and Friday, which would be September 25th and 26th. So, we're still probably looking at September 30th for opening of that Voss Quarry
At the
Bridge.
latest.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Meetings, updates, old business, new business.
Do we need to talk about?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So Ashley and I went to the city of Woolstock's, city council meeting. on the urban renewal area and
On Tuesday.
on Tuesday night. And they are moving ahead with the urban renewal area. Working on the development agreement with the co-op. And, they discussed a little bit about the water plant project, for the city of Woolstock. Doesn't sound like they're doing a whole new, they just new equipment, their equipment's extremely old.
Okay.
So I think it's mainly, is that what I'm understanding, Daryl Stewart? Is that they are just gonna be updating the equipment in their water plant?
Correct.
So.
Okay. Do you know who have they found an engineering firm that they're working with on that?
They're using B&K at Des Moines.
Okay. All right. Good, good. And was it a well-attended meeting by the citizens or not?
There was 3, 4
Three or
citizens.
4 citizens, yeah.
Yeah.
Did that,
No one spoke against it or in favor of it.
okay, very good. Good, good. Okay. I had, a building families, by Zoom meeting. It was to approve the budget for the year. I know that I had spoken with McKinley concerning increasing some account.
Balance.
Yes, some account balance, so that we didn't run into end of the month or end of the year things. Has he had that conversation with you?
Yeah, it's just trying to figure out, I would like to ask Betty some questions.
Okay,
So.
all right, very good. And that was it for me.
And then, economic development meeting was on Tuesday morning at 7 AM.
Correct?
And I think the team, is starting to reviewing the applications.
Correct. We actually reviewed the applications and we have notified 2 applicants. And, the search committee will be interviewing them on Wednesday afternoon. So. More to follow on that. Let me see.
Meetings I have coming up Wednesday. Board of Health at 7 and then our one at 10:30.
Okay. And then, of course, the other, which I'm assuming will be, it was on social media at least. I don't know if it was on TV or not. There was an incident over in Eagle Grove where we had, 3, sheriff's vehicles that were damaged, one of them possibly totaled. But again, more information to follow on that. I don't have any further information concerning that. Anything else?
Did you go to conservation meeting
I
on
missed that.
Thursday? They are moving, I did not go, but I was on the agenda for conservation and they're moving forward with the properties south of Belmont. I was just gonna look it up to see what the name of that property was. Just a second here, pulling it up. See,
Or in Iowa Township?
69.
yeah, it's the. Permission bidding, so, no, it's not. Bashir's Trees Wetland Project Funding Levels.
Okay, very good.
Is that the one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It's in Iowa Iowa Township.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, more information to follow on that
Yes,
as it progresses.
but that was kind of the big one.
Okay.
That was going on.
If there's nothing else, I would accept the motion to adjourn as Board of Supervisors.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn as supervisors. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay. We will come out of recess as drainage trustees. And Courtney, you're back on. We had approved the agenda. We had done our 9:30 conference call. You'll remember that when we approved the agenda, we scratched item 8. And, so we are at item number 2, approve the minutes of the last meeting. If you would review those, please.
Minutes of the last meeting on September 8th, 2025, the Wright County Board of Supervisors met in regular session as trustees of the drainage districts with the following members present: Rasmussen, Cluse, Lukes, Bosch, and Ellis. Also present were Courtney Morris, drainage administrator. Other interested parties were Robert Watts and Robert Ritter via Zoom, Delmer Voss, Thomas Gray, Janet Gray, Gary Fisher, and Lee Galentine, CGA engineer. Rasmussen called the meeting to order at 9:31 a.m. Motion by Cluse and seconded by Bosch to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carried. Minutes of the previous meeting on September 2nd, 2025 were read and approved. Motion by Cluse and seconded by Lukes to approve drainage claims for payment. There was one work order that was reviewed and approved for DD 29, section 9 of Vernon Township for at least 3 blowouts. Morris presented the following 4 drainage invoices. First one for Nine Master for Joint Drainage District 111-3 for professional services through 7/31 of 25 and the amount of $1,140. The next one's for Agravia PLLC for Joint Drainage District 46-92 professional services in the amount of $400. The third one is for Mazian Construction for DD 219, section 28 of Norway Township for $9,687.18. And the last one is for Mazian Construction for DD 10, main open ditch in section 35 of Norway Township for $30,779.25. The trustees went into recess at 9:43 a.m. The trustees returned from recess at 10 a.m. Rasmussen opened the public hearing on DD 62 for repairs needed to open ditch and directed Galentine to proceed. Galentine explained that he was contacted by Morris to review drone footage taken by Wright County Secondary Roads of DD 62 open ditch. The findings from the drone included roughly 12 tile outlets that are damaged and broken that need repaired, roughly 6 spots that need surface drains, roughly 40 spots of general erosion. Most are not too big, but a few are getting pretty large, especially down towards the outlet of the creek. Roughly 5 spots with debris floating or on the ditch bank and an old bridge at the lower end that is unusable, and brush and trees in roughly the last 1/8 of a mile. Discussion was had regarding if silt was in the ditch. Morris mentioned that the ditch was cleaned out 10 years ago. Galentine stated that he would not anticipate that there is a large amount of silt in the ditch after 10 years, and most ditches don't silt in that quickly. Galentine estimated $80,000 to $100,000 to fix all the issues, which is below the requirement for an engineer's report and bid letting, but above the requirement for a public hearing. Bosch explained the public hearing was to get the landowner's opinion if they would like an engineer's report. She stated that Galentine communicated that an engineer's report would not be much more than what he presented. Motion by Ellis and seconded by Cluse to have Morris create a template draft of the findings and send it out to local contractors for quotes. Motion carried. Ellis added that if there is additional work on top of what was listed, then a change order can be completed. Rasmussen closed the public hearing on DD 62 for repairs needed to open ditch. Motion by Cluse and seconded by Lukes to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as read. Approved drainage claims. So this would be for the invoices that were presented last week. That was signed, but for the minutes purpose, I would accept a motion to approve those claims.
I'll make a motion to approve claims. I'll second.
A motion is second to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Aye.
Open forum for public input regarding drainage districts. Review and act on drainage work orders.
We have one work order that was reported by Brent Holtkamp And this is for Drainage District 29, Section 16 of Vernon Township. This is Betty's area. He had reported a blowout and he has requested black dirt on that location.
I was out there with them and also Joel Denio. We looked at the area north of there. And there was multiple blowouts and sinkholes there. And so Lee Galentine went with me last Monday.
Yeah.
And so we Lee even confirmed that to replace that 1,300, possibly up to 1,300 feet of that tile. Mainly start at the north, work your way down, and when you start getting to tile that's holding shape, then you can connect into it. But if you can't, until you find that solid
Gotcha.
tile.
Yeah.
So,
And so, trying to remember Denial's, the name of their company, is it Black Dirt?
mhm,
Are they gonna
they'll do it,
start on the repair?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
He was thinking that it will be under 50,000 for sure,
Okay.
so.
Right.
And
And-
then,
He will notify us if. Okay. Very good.
and he and Lee Galentine spoke extensively. They rode in the Ranger together. But they talked about the dual wall. And no farming over top of it. It's not real deep in some areas.
It was CRP, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And they need to remove a lot of trees in there too, so that will, all the shrubs and that will get cleaned out
Okay.
and then, I think they're gonna really work hard at trying not to have trees and shrubs come back in, especially around the tile.
So do you need action from us on that?
Just
She
Betty
signed
signed
it,
it
okay.
earlier.
Yeah,
Okay, and then review and sign any open drainage invoices that might have been
We
presented.
have none.
None presented, okay. All right. Anything else to be brought before the drainage trustees?
I have nothing else.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that. I have a motion and a second to adjourn as drainage trustees. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Safe travels home, Rick.
You bet. Thanks, Dean.